More Q&As. Fresh page. Fresh page. Okay, next question. Did you always know which genre you would write in? Did you have any false starts before you brought Tuva to life? No and yes to these. Did I always know which genre you would write in? I still don't really know what genre I write in. I don't care what genre I write in. It's not interesting to me. What's interesting is every single story. I don't really think about genres much. I think like my editors and marketing departments and publicists do, but booksellers have to, and that's great, and it helps readers find books, but I don't think about genre at all. Some of the Tuva books hardly have any crimes in them, you know? My books are tense, I would say. They're generally very tense. Not sure if, I mean, I just don't know. Or if they are, if to think of them in terms of genre, they probably cross a bunch of genres, each one. And I want to write in different genres. But I would guess that most of my books would be tense, quite tense. Because I like tension. I think it's difficult to write, and I think it's really satisfying for a reader to be sucked into a really immersive storyline. Did I always know which genre you would? Did you always know which genre you would write in? So no, I love. My books are kind of crime thriller, but they overlap a bunch of other things as well. And that's because I read all sorts of different things. I'm not limited to crime and thrillers. So I love, if you think about an author like Michel Faber, one of my favorite authors, you know, Under the Skin, crazy book. All of his books, they're all in different genres. Same with Sarah Waters, you know, you have the kind of gothic ghost story of The Little Stranger, which I love, and then you have that kind of societal change, romance, and crime in The Paying Guests. Fantastic. And she's able to do that, and that's what I love to read. Same with Cormac McCarthy, you know, you go from westerns to No Country for Old Men, which is I think a crime novel, to The Road, to kind of dystopian fiction. So what genre, did I always know which genre you would? I didn't. I still don't think like that. It's all about the stories. Don't care about the genres. It's all about stories. Love horror, love science fiction, love thrillers, love literary fiction, love all of it. Did you have any false starts before you brought Tuva to life? Yeah, I really did. I don't even know if it's a false start. I wouldn't call it a false start, but it was a bad novel. I wrote a bad novel, or a novel that wasn't good enough. And that was my apprenticeship novel, and that novel is locked in a drawer forever. And it taught me so much. So I don't see it as a failure at all. I see it as part of my learning experience. Just the same as if I wrote a book next year, and I spent all year writing it and it's not good enough, I wouldn't want it to be published, and I would learn from it, so I wouldn't see that as a failure. You learn, every word you write, everything you write, you learn from. And I learned so much from that bad book. It was a book with, I think, 7 point of view characters set in 7 different countries over a year or 2 or something like that, and it was just too big, too ambitious, too sprawling, too messy, and because of that book and because of what I learned from writing that book, I wrote Dark Pines, which is 1 point of view character, 2 weeks, 1 really small town, so much more compact and zoomed in and intense. So yeah, I wouldn't call it a false start, but it was definitely a tough learning curve. And that was my creative writing course in a way. I haven't done a creative writing course ever, but that was my creative writing course, and I learned a lot from Bernie's having a shake over there. Can you see him? You can see his back end. I learned a lot from that, and I'm grateful to that bad book, and maybe it's the most important book I will ever write, because I learned the hard way what not to do. Hope that answers your question.